So I want to read your comments. So competitiveness means gaining a competitive advantage over your competitor. So I want to get, yeah? Saimo, I want to hear from Saimo. Saimo? So Tesla, you unmute yourself before you, yes.
The point for the company having not paying their suppliers on time. Hello.
Yes.
They are not able to pay their suppliers on time. They should take up the principle of responsibility to stakeholders by paying them on time, so that they don't go to their competitors to sell their produce.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's very true. So that means that answer helps us to answer question 1B and question 1A. Paying farmers on time, that is being responsible to your stakeholders. It's a principle of good corporate governance. So that one is lack of responsibility to stakeholders as a principle. And then you also discuss it under the achievement of competitiveness, that they need to pay their farmers on. They need to pay their farmers on time. So let's go on. The competitors of SCL use the latest technology to manufacture sugar. SCL, a company which used to control 79% of the market share, uses an archaic technology. For SCL to return to profitability, the company has no choice but to acquire an integrated enterprise resource management software. With the trade liberalization, competition has gone a notch higher. More private sugar factories are being established, which pay employees better and farmers on time. Business people are importing cheaper sugar, which they sell at a price below the cost of production at SCL. The company has on various occasions imported sugar, which is packaged and sold to the local market instead of manufacturing sugar from local farmers. In some instances, earnings from the imported sugar ended up in private accounts of the senior managers. Now, I think we've been able to answer question 1A and B. Are we able to answer question C? You know, we are still, we need to look at time, because we don't want to do this question beyond an hour. We have 3 hours to handle the SGE paper, and we have question 2 to 5 also to do. So we have to do this in an hour's time. So can we move to question C? Do we have answers to question 1C? Anyone? 1C? Kaira?
Yes, we do have questions to answer. Question 1C.
Yes.
Okay, so the first one will be to freeze the bank accounts of the freeze the bank accounts of the company, of the managers of the company, for those who imported the sugar and then the money ended up in their private accounts. Yes. Okay, and
yes, that is very true. Very true, to freeze the bank accounts of the senior managers. So you see, now you start by saying that remedies available. You can hear me?
Yes.
So are the others can hear me? Mercy, can you hear me? Yes? Okay. So I would say that you started by this way. That where the a minute, please. So there's a so I would say that where SCL remedies available to SCL where directors have been found culpable of breaching fiduciary duties include the following. Then you start with the first paragraph. I'm sorry for that. So I want to repeat. In answering question 1C, then you start it this way. Remedies available to SCCL where directors have been found culpable of breaching fiduciary duties include the following. Then you start paragraph 1. 1, freezing of bank accounts. Application to the court to freeze the bank accounts of the directors involved. Then you say that some money lost to the company ended up in private accounts of the senior managers, and SCCL should apply to the courts to freeze those bank accounts. That's one of the remedies. Let's go on to with the case studies. We see whether we are going to get more points. Early in the year 2015, the company suspended a number of employees implicated in irregular termination of contracts with farmers. The companies lost 400 million shillings, mostly through legal suits. More money was lost as the company ignored guidelines on pricing. SCCL's procurement systems did not conform to the government procurement and disposal regulations. So up to that point, do we have another answer for question 1C? Please? Yes? The Elizabeth? Elizabeth? Unmute yourself, please. Unmute yourself. Yes? Betty? Betty?
Yes.
Yeah, so tell me about question. Any other answer you have for that question 1C?
Yes.
Yes.
The company has lost 400 million shillings for the legal suit.
Yeah.
I think the remedy could be the directors or the managers who are liable for that should bear the cost from their own accounts, not the company to pay for them.
Not the company, very true. So you start your answer like this, so you can say directors should be held personally liable.
Yes, exactly, that's the word.
Personal liability of directors, Then you illustrate and say that the directors should be held liable for the 400 million shillings lost due to ignorance of the guidelines on pricing. And therefore, the company should not incur this cost, but the directors themselves. So we proceed to read. Other malpractices in the company include a large amount of sugar that is manufactured by SCCL leaves the stores of the company undocumented. This is done with the knowledge of the senior management and security officials at the factory. Number 2, collusion between sugar distributors and senior officials of SCCL to give undocumented credit advances to selected distributors. Number 3, laxity in collecting sale proceeds from buyers in order to earn interests and kickbacks for sale officials. And number 4, not harvesting contracted farmers' cane on time. A farmer has to bribe SCCL employees for sugarcane to be harvested. SCCL is an important company to the economy since many livelihoods depend on the company for survival. The government in the past came up with interventions which seem not to work. Some of these interventions are: 1, setting up of importation quotas and punitive custom duty on imported sugar, writing off loans to millers such as SCCL and farmers, assisting SCCL to settle debts to farmers, improving infrastructure such as roads in the sugar belts, reduction in tariffs on raw materials and capital inputs. It is evident that for SCCL to be saved from collapse, more strategies need to be developed. Mere lip service will not help turn around a company which was once a gem in the sugar belt. So today, we still need to answer question C because we have 6 marks, and I think we've only come up with 2 answers. So you only have 2 marks, and we need to score all the 6 marks. So I want us to score the other 6 marks. Make comments as we also take your answers. So from other malpractices in the company, a large amount of sugar that is manufactured by the SCCL leaves the stores of the company undocumented. This is done with the knowledge of the senior management and security officials at the factory. Which remedy do we do? What do we do? Tesla, tell me. I want to hear from you. Millicent?
Yes.
Tell me.
I think the senior management and the security officials at the factory who were responsible for the undocumentation of what left the stores should be held responsible.
Yes. How do we hold them?
For the large amount.
What do we do to them? How do we hold them responsible?
They should be asked to account for it.
We can talk about, we can sue them, we can take criminal sanctions against them, we can take them to court. So you say criminal sanctions against the directors who allowed sugar to leave the stores of the company undocumented. So criminal sanctions, or you can talk about taking them to court with the simple language. Taking them to court. You can't say just holding them responsible. Holding them responsible should go beyond, and you take them to court so that they can be held criminally liable. And then that also point will also help us to answer question 1A, because it means that the company had poor internal control systems. That means it had poor internal control systems where the SCCL sugar leaves the stores of the company undocumented. Then the second one, collusion between sugar distributors and senior officials of SCL to give undocumented credit advances to selected distributors. What do you do to that? You can fire them. You fire them, firing, suspension. You are the manager, so you just do away with them. So that's also another remedy. Simon, I want to hear from you.
Hello.
Hello.
With the sugar leaving the stores undocumented,
yes,
this is fraud on part of the directors, which means they make secret profits.
Yes.
So we can sue them to recover their secret profits made.
Very, very good. Indeed, that's another remedy, recovery of secret profits. Apply to the court for recovery of secret profits. Very powerful. So we proceed. Then collusion between sugar distributors and senior officials. We've talked about firing them. Laxity in collecting sale proceeds from buyers in order to earn interest and kickbacks for sale officials. Note that these are also corporate governance issues, lack of integrity. And when it comes to laxity in collecting sale proceeds from buyers in order to earn interest and kickbacks for sale officials, then that one, you can also report them to EACC, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. And where they are members of professional bodies, report them to their professional bodies. Where they are members of ISPAC, report them to ISPAC. Where they are members of ICSK, Institute of Certified Secretaries, report them to ICSK. They're not harvesting contracted farmers' cane on time. A farmer has to bribe SCCL employees for sugar cane to be harvested. Note that bribery is, that's what we call secret profits. And they can apply to the court for recovery of secret profits. So I think we've been able to get various remedies that we can take to, we can advise the management of SCCL in regard to where directors are found culpable of breaching their fiduciary duties. So we proceed to question D. I think we've not attempted question D at all. Which areas do you think the SCCL needs to adopt technology? On which areas do you think they need to adopt technology? Which are the management softwares or management modules you would advise them to adopt? Kindly, I want to hear from you. On which areas do you think they need to adopt technology? For instance, manufacturing management software. I'm going to give you an answer. Manufacturing. Where they were producing 100,000 metric tons and they had the capacity to produce 300,000 metric tons. So manufacturing module, not necessarily you refer to it specifically, but you need to illustrate, come up with ideas. Not necessarily you call it manufacturing as is in the marking scheme, but then as long as you're able to bring out your answers. Issues to do with inventory management software. In inventory, they're able to know, to monitor what is going out, what is coming in. But then you find that with this, sugar is leaving the stores of the company undocumented. They are not able to monitor what is the movement of the movement of the sugar in and out of the organization. So which other softwares? I want you to come up with more. We are asked of 6. Where else do you think we can adopt technology? Note. Where else do you think we can adopt technology? Okay, comments. Under the comments, I can see, sorry, I mean directors should be held liable by shareholders, sack the directors, criminal proceedings. That was question 4 for question 1C, swing the damages. Then we can see the answers for question 1D. I can see them. We have procurement module. Procurement module, very good. Because we are told that SEL has no policy on risk management, procurement, and ICT. So they need to adopt IT in their procurement systems. Accounting, finance, they need to also adopt that in the accounting finance, so that to remove this issue of people giving out credit advances upon them being bribed. Internal control system, very true. Issues to do with human resource, I would like you to illustrate. Is it because of the termination of the contracts? I would like you to illustrate. When you comment, you have to illustrate. And that is the foundation of SGE. You must illustrate. Customer relationship management software. That one is very true, where they are not even paying farmers on time. They need to adopt technology in terms of paying farmers on time. Kindly illustrate. You said to me and you illustrate your answer. So those are some of the management softwares that they need to adopt. Then we can also look at we can also ask ourselves the last question. The last question is to do with unethical practices. Unethical practices being propagated by various agents. Unethical practices being propagated by various agents of SCL. Try to make comments so that you can read and see which are the unethical practices being propagated by various agents of SCL. So which are these unethical practices being propagated by various agents of SCL? Maybe we can see them from other malpractices. Other malpractices in the company include, definitely number 1 is where a large amount of sugar is leaving the SCL stores, the stores of SCL undocumented. Then we also have collusion between sugar distributors and senior officials. We have collusion between sugar distributors and senior officials. We also have laxity in collecting sale proceeds from buyers. That is also an ethical practice, so meaning there is lack of integrity. And then they are not harvesting contracted farmers' cane on time. That is in order to earn. So a farmer has also to bribe. A farmer has to bribe so that his cane is harvested, So those are some of the issues that have come out from the case study. And I believe that from what we've done, we can be able to attempt November 2016. That is, we can move to November 2016.